Alright, so today I played Bretonnians for the first time actually. Never played Bretonnians before at all. And on somebody else's gaming table over here, so this looks quite nice. A few roads and things around, so just going to get straight stuck into it because I took a lot of photos and it's going to take me a while to get through them all. Bretonnians, of course, used their lady's blessing thing to, get their ward saves, so that means I automatically got the first turn, but I'll talk about the deployment. Oh, by the way, another important piece of background here is that I'm not using my list that I've been using for the last 10 to 15 games. I've actually decided to experiment with a very fluffy, soft list today relative to my casket list. So the casket has been dropped completely. I've only got one lich, so very low on magic defense and offense. And I've spent the points which I gained from dropping the lich and the casket on an additional prince. So right on the left-hand side of the table, I've got like two horses on a bit of cardboard with a Tomb Guard champion there and a couple of bits of plastic to represent an extra prince on a chariot. So that's a prince with a flail of skulls. And I've got my standard prince set up next to him with the cloak of, not the cloak of Dunes, the chariot of fire. So next to them is the standard skeleton melee guys, and there's the king in the unit of 20 Tomb Guard. I've upped the unit size to 20 for this particular list, and I've got the icon of rakaph there, but everything else in the army is the same. You can see the carrion behind them, and all the archers on the hill, hierophants with the archers, scorpions are out in front, and I'm going to be burrowing the swarm underneath the trebuchet on the other side, which is in the forest. So, yeah, using a softer list, going to get some practice with it just to see how things turn out, and, first time against Bretonnians, maybe I'll wish I'd taken the casket instead, but we'll see how it goes. Going to go straight to the next photo. Bretonnian deployment, there's a whole lot of knights far on the other flank, but in the middle, you've got his general on the hippogriff or Pegasus, whatever it is. Behind the trebuchet, we've got the knights errant, men-at-arms with halberds on the field, some mounted yeomen closer to us, close to the edge of the photo, and in the far flank there's Grail Knights, Knights of the Realm, more yeomen, more errants, and just in general, pretty hard-hitting Bretonnia list, but, when is a Bretonnian list ever not hard-hitting? A few things that I forgot to say. Oh yeah, you might notice their banners are all made out of like advertising that you get over New Zealand here for cheese, like blocks of cheese. That the mainland is the brand of cheese that you can buy here, and it's just like a joke on my opponent's behalf here, just really overstating the fact that Bretonnians are a cheesy army, or at least they were in the current edition when he created them, probably 6th edition or whatever it was. But regardless of that, Tomb Kings versus Bretonnians, and here we go. Next photo, you can see the right-hand side flank, where he's got his Knights of the Realm, he's got errants, he's got some yeomen in front, and he's got the Grail Knights there as well. And there's a couple of damsels inside these units as well, and he's got Lore of Beasts, I think, for both of them, which is pretty cool. I think he's got the Beast Cowards as well on one of those mages, so on one of those damsels, so that's quite handy. Next photo, Tomb Kings take the first turn due to the Lady's Blessing, so moving out, I've decided to move the chariots forward 7 inches to make sure they're not in charge range of the knights, and I've moved the carrion in front of that piece of terrain there, which we decided was both difficult ground but also blocking line of sight. So it's a bit like a forest, except flyers are allowed to land in it, which turned out to be much more beneficial to him than me, because he can land his Pegasus Knights there and I can't see through it with the catapult, so, what the hell. Doesn't matter. So the Scorpions moving out together. One of them's broken from that kind of tipped my box over and it kind of broken. I haven't glued it back together yet, but no big deal. The Scorpions out in front working as a pair, and just trying to prevent him from moving too far into my charge range. It's just to scare him a bit. Shooting and magic didn't really do too much. The Scullipult missed, and of course it didn't really have enough magic available to make it shoot twice. He was able to dispel it. He had the Chalice of Malfur or whatever it is, and the Silver Mirror and stuff. He's really got me locked down. Next picture, Bretonnian turn 1, moves the Pegasus Knights into that little bit of difficult terrain, moves everybody else up, moves the yeomen in the way of my chariots, and everybody else is just swinging around here on the flank. The trebuchet went off, and I don't think he hit me with the trebuchet first go, but there you have it, and his shooting didn't really do too much either, so I'm just going to skip this picture, straight onto the next photo. We can see what's happening over the left-hand flank for me. Yeomen basically in the way, so only real choices here are to pull back with the chariots yet again, or just go for the charge, and I don't think that's really in my best interest. And you can also see that he's getting into position with his hippogriff in the far background, so I'm going to have to move my hierophant out of the way somewhere safe. Next photo, what's happening here is the Tomb Kings taking their second turn, Carrion charging the yeoman in the flank, and in hindsight I think that was a mistake. Although I wanted to clear the yeoman out of the way, it's quite difficult to beat them with just Carrion. And I think I ought to have saved the carrion to just move them in the way of some of the knights charging around the left-hand flank, but that's what happened. In the background, I charged his unit of errants with my single scorpion, forgetting completely. I did read the rules for lance formation, but I forgot completely you get ranks in lance formation, which seems pretty heinous to me, but that's the rules, and because of that, my scorpion just got killed instantly. He didn't really inflict too much damage, just lost a scorpion. So that's just a bad play from me. I mean, again, playing a softer Tomb Kings list against Bretonnians, in my defense, first time against the Bretonnians ever, and I'm using a softer list, so you've got to sort of forgive my mistakes here and there. Next picture, what's happening here? Just a better view of the carrion, which managed to kill one yeoman, but they don't win the combat, and I'm kind of stuck there now. So that's that. Next picture, the yeomen actually reformed themselves, I think, just so they're. My opponent had some reason for doing that. I'm not really. I think he might have taken that back after I took the photo. Yeah, he probably did, but just going to skip that one. Next photo, this is the important one because the Pegasus Knights charged the Tomb Guard and the Errants charged the Scorpion, and plan here is to destroy the Scorpion and overrun into the Tomb Guard. And yeah, that's a good move from my opponent. And again, I've misplaced the Scorpion, so already throwing away 2 Scorpions, very annoying thing for me to have done. Next game I'll use them a bit more effectively, but this means that the yeoman, the Errants will crush the Scorpion and get straight into combat with the Tomb Guard. Of course, if he rolls the dice for the first combat involving the Errants, then he can attack with them all over again when he charges the Tomb Guard. Next picture, the other Errants have charged the carrion in the flank, so that'll get rid of them in short order. Next picture, again, what's happened here is that the Hippogriff General has moved over next to the archers and is using his breath weapon on the archers to kill a few of them. Breath weapon, not that the Griffin or the Hippogriff has that, but he's got the Worm Lance, which not only does it do double damage against my characters, which is nuts, because it's flaming attack, but he can fire a little fiery blast onto me as well. And he's just really setting up to charge my Tomb Guard in the flank later on. So next picture, just zooming out so you can see what's going on. He's got some yeomen over the side as well. So things getting really hairy for me over the right-hand flank, but we'll see what happens next in terms of the resolution of this. Next picture, I've just really taken too many photos for this to have been effective. I'm just going to skip through them. I'll just talk quickly about this photo. I'm in a position really here to shoot a lot of the yeomen, but I'm not going to be able to knock them out. And the yeomen, unfortunately, are really going to get in my hair very shortly. And that Lord's getting ready for our rear charge, so that's going to be a pain. So next photo, finally you can actually see what happens here. The Tomb Guard didn't get destroyed. He just knocked out about 7 of them in combat at least, and I think that might have been happened before I removed them for the combat race. Can't remember, but I managed to kill a Pegasus Knight and a couple of Errants, so luckily the whole unit hasn't been destroyed yet. Next picture, what's going on? Oh yeah, so in the background, the yeomen and the Errants have actually destroyed the carrion, so that's good. And his trebuchet has blown away my prince with the flail of skulls, so he's on foot right now. So I've used a single Tomb Guard you can see over there behind the catapult to represent him. I've joined the catapult with the Hierophant, and I've actually charged the Pegasus Knights in the flank with my unit of 3 chariots there. So things looking pretty grim in the center. Desperate times with the Tomb Kings. But we'll see how it pulls through. That Hippogriff is going to be charging in my ass shortly, but we'll see how that turns out. Next photo, just a better look of what's going on here. You can see the light streaming through the windows, so yeah, it's obviously getting towards sunset. But at least you can see the left-hand side of the photo. Looks like if I don't beat the Pegasus in that combat with the chariots, I'm going to get smashed by Grail Knights and Knights of the Realm and all sorts of crap coming around from the left-hand flank. Well, getting through this quickly. Deep breath. So,